Spencer Lewis here for SL Promotions post-race at Ohsweken Speedway with my man, the Astronaut Brandon McFerran. And Brandon, 2 weeks in a row, we've talked about top 15 finishes, we've talked about improvements, we've talked about gains. Unfortunately tonight, we're not going to talk about any of that. A little bit of a different feel here. This, I believe, is the first time you've ever not qualified for an A main.
Yeah.
So not a great feeling. Go ahead and walk me through exactly what happened here in week number 3 of the Ohsweken season.
It was a rough one for sure. We went out in the heat race. We started deep in the field, and the track was just complete mud, and something I'm not used to. And I didn't want to go replay night 1 where I slid up and junked a bunch of cars. So I just kind of reserved my stuff, and once the track kind of came in and I got into the groove, I started picking off cars, but sadly it just wasn't enough time to get into the top 7 and qualify into the A main. So that put us, I think, starting 9th in the B main, and we went out. We started along the bottom, and I was talking to Dave Bailey before the B main, and he says if you're gonna run the bottom, you either put the car right up against the concrete and make it work right around there, because that's where you're going to get bite, or just go right to the top. And the first lap, I see my opportunity. I went right down to the concrete, made some passes. I think we went up like 7th or 6th, and we got a caution, and I restarted on the outside, and that's really where I wanted to be. And the track was really, it was hooking up, and we got on the outside, and the thing was working, man. It was pulling like Jack the Bear. I just couldn't believe it.
That's the second time you dropped that reference tonight. I have no idea who's Jack the Bear.
It's just a bear that pulls a ton of stuff. Ton of ponies.
Look, we're gonna go. Okay, we're gonna break. We're fine. Fine. We're gonna roll with that.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so it's pulling like Jack the Bear.
Yeah. Anyways, so we're making some passes, and guys, a couple cars in front of me just drove in a little too deep, and they started spinning out. I got right sideways, and I got the car pretty well wound up, and I made a fair amount of contact with them, and then someone came in from behind me and completely dummied me, man. They had me like 3 to 4 feet off the ground, and took bent up the rear end. I think bent some trailing arms, took the tire off it, and I hate it for the team. Lane and Steve Perry, the car owner, they work so hard during the week. Sadly, I can't get up to Hamilton just because of obvious reasons. I don't have my license, and they put so much work into this car for me to show up on Friday nights with my fire suit and helmet to get in and go do the best I can. But going out in a consi and getting junked like that, I just hate it for them. They work way too hard for this. This car should be top 10 car. But I think we got a top 10 coming here soon.
I mean, it just seems as though you get a bad draw in the heat race, which has you starting deep, which means you finish deep, which means you go to the B main. It just seems like it's a repeating cycle here. Is it just the luck of the draw? Is it just that you haven't been able to sort of get lady luck on your side through the first 3 weeks of the season here?
That's all I'm wishing for right now, is just some luck, man. That's the only thing we've lacked this year on dirt is luck. I mean, if I could draw up front and finish up front in the heat race and transfer into the A main and get a good starting position in the A main, I really think we could do something with it. But right now, just lady luck isn't on our side, and wherever she is, I hope she comes along here soon. I
mean, it must just feel like a completely another world for you, because your mini stock program unquestionably is one of the best in the province, and you and your father and Tim Ellis work so hard on it to keep it running like a well-oiled machine. So to come out with this program that has quality equipment and just not be able to get your feet underneath you and not be able to get moving in the right direction has to be something you've not yet experienced in racing.
You got that right. It's definitely different. I hope this changes soon, because like I said, I just hate it for Steve and Lane to go home and fix a good race car that should not be getting fixed every week like it is. But like you said, we have a lot of success in the mini stock, and I'd like to have some success in this, and hopefully it's coming. All I want is a top 10 finish. I'll be happy, and transfer to the A main right away from the heat race. So I just want to make the car owner happy, and put the car in the box and not have to work on it all week long.
I know that you mentioned Steve Perry, you mentioned Lane Zarda, who are really the blood and sweat of this team, but go ahead and thank the marketing partners behind the scenes that get this number 64 car to the racetrack every Friday.
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank my dad he works all week long, barely gets any sleep. He's up in Sarnia all week hauling calcium, and comes home Friday with running on 3 hours of sleep, and drives me up here so I can hop in this thing. So I got to thank him. I got to thank AirQuest, DJT Photos. Debbie Jozaro takes amazing photos. Contact her if you need, sponsorship plaques made up or hero cards. She does an awesome job on them. Brandon Johnson at Brandon's Landscape. Sadly, he wasn't here tonight. He had to do some work, but like I said, these sponsors and Steve Perry, they deserve better than what we're getting. So hopefully we come out next week and get that top 10 like I hope so.
There you go, folks. Follow him on Twitter, Brandon McFerran, and go the official Brandon McFerran Racing page on Facebook for live updates from the racetrack. Brandon, all the best this week. We'll check back in with you week 4 of the season on Ohsweken next Friday.